Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fire Brigade of Flames, chapter 172. When we last left off, Tamaki, Arthur, and Shinra were in Asakusa to get some training done. Shinra and Arthur to learn Super Fire that allows them to use even more of their flames than they have been, and Tamaki just to get kind of at an even ground with the White Hoods. After her experience in the Nether, she feels kind of below everyone else. And we saw her get to use a full-on, cat flame cloak thing, as she ran away from the twins and successfully, made it a minute without getting caught. Meanwhile, Shinra and Arthur are being tortured to use Superfire or something. Let's jump on with that. Chapter 172 is titled Superfire. We have a picture of Vulcan with a hammer. Leave it up to Vulcan's factory to make an invention that'll save the world. And we open... we just hear screaming and dust as these two guys are carrying a box and dragging it on the ground. And we see Shinra and Arthur's feet are tied up, and I think they're on the ground being dragged behind the box, or they're in the box, but I think they're behind it. Yeah, they're behind it and nude. Hop, hop, wah! Ah! And they're getting bumped on the ground. We came here to learn how to use Super Fire! Captain Shinmon, what the hell is the point of this? And Shinmon and Tamaki too. Tamaki's in a robe and just kind of relaxing now. I guess all her clothes got destroyed at the end of the last chapter. And they both kind of watch after them. Captain Shinmon, what is the point of this? Dunno. It's old country style hazing. Wow. It's just being a dick. Meanwhile, some, kids are now, poking the two of them with sticks. Heh. And they're poking them over a barrel full of water, I think? What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? And now they're being spun around real fast. And Benimaru is just, casually, eating something on a stick, and Tamaki just watches dead-faced. The twins are behind her. Roasted over fires, smoked and crucified, dragged through town by a cart, poked while naked, drowned, spun. Just what is the point? You have to be way past. And Benimaru gets up and walks over to the crawling Shinra and Arthur. You have to be way past your limits to unlock Super Fire. Right. That's what Conroe said before he did this to me. And? Yeah, I wonder what the point is. I never bothered to check. I love one man. I adore this man. Gah. And then he gets them up and gets them in clothes, and now they're at some kind of field where they do their sparring, Okay, let's go. So there was no point. And Shinra and Arthur are just not handling this very well. I don't know. Does that bother you? What the hell? What was all that? Just harassment? And they angrily lunge at Benimaru, but Shinra Benimaru deflects Shinra's arm. Die, damn you! Is this for the hazing? You seem to be mad. Good. I can sense the breath of life in your attacks. The desire to kill is there too. Of course it is! I'm angry and bitter as hell! And Benimaru jumps over and elbows Shinra in the gut, and we see the flame come out the other side. And Benimaru gets a karate chop on and falls to the ground. And then explodes. I think that's Arthur away, or it might be Shinra again. Oh no, it is Shinra, yeah. And he hits the wall, and Tamaki calls out, "What? Are you okay?" And Benimaru throws some more fire at him, and just explodes. And Arthur calls out, "You're overdoing it!" And we see what looks like some kind of Oni statue? I'm not sure. And I think it's supposed to represent Benimaru, and Arthur's freaked by this. Rage breeds rage. If you face that desire to kill, it will overflow into you. And then Benimaru's eye here also is really creepy. I imagine it's just a dramatic effect, but this series loves its weird fucking eyes. It's been a long time since we've talked about the eyes of this series, but with the anime coming, they'll be back. And Benimaru gets a kick in on Arthur, and he falls to the ground. You've already learned the breath of life, the life of yourselves, of your friends, your enemies. You've learned the importance of life. And Benimaru kicks Arthur up like that. But you're still underestimating. And we see the demon statue, like, behind Benimaru. Facing the fire means being thrown into the hellfires of Akala himself. Alright. Who is Akala? Because he's a big thing over on Masashi Kishimoto's Samurai 8. I'm assuming he's some kind of traditional Japanese warrior god, because Benimaru, of course, is a very traditional Japanese character, in this franchise, so I imagine that's who he is, but still, it's weird that over the course of, like, 2 days, he's popped up in 2 completely different series. Anyway, lose yourself for even a second and you're dead. Akala's flames will come to stop your breath of life. Shinra and Arthur, like, are looking up to look at him. They're both still on the ground. The next thing you'll feel after the breath of life is the pressure of death. And Arthur just explodes. Fire consumes his entire chest. Don't just stand there. Akala will take your life. And Shinra gets ready for an attack with his fingers, and Benimaru just kicks him in the head. What? He's faster than my rapid. And Arthur gets his blade ready, but Benimaru just whacks him in the head with his palm. Just one kick and punch. Is this super fire? But Shinra gets up. I'm not done yet! And lunges at Benimaru. Arthur swings his sword. And we cut somewhere else. Arthur is standing. Shinra is kind of crouched, but they're still raring to go against Benimaru. And Tamaki is just watching them. Already been 5 hours. They're both breathing heavily. As Arthur's sword fizzles out and he falls to his knees. But Shinra calls out, "Not yet!" And then slumps. And he is done. We see the flame kind of flicker out on his foot. Shit! They've used up all the oxygen in their bodies! A blackout! If they keep going, they'll get Tephrosis! And Benimaru just looks down at him. Overheated, huh? And Shinra can only just look up at him. Captain Shinmon, this is enough for today's exercise. Exercise? I don't recall ever starting an exercise. Huh? And Benimaru takes off a sleeve. Stand up. Let's start your training. Barely breathing in exhaustion at its peak. Yet it's only the beginning. In order to overcome their limits, they will start a dance with death. To be continued, chapter 173, Memento Mori. Alright. So this was a fun chapter. Yeah, okay, so it was pretty much just a good bit of having fun at Shinra and Arthur's expense, which honestly was a little mean-spirited, but you know what, it was fine, it's whatever. Then we had their sparring, as we just see, judging by Benimaru's final comments that he hadn't even started their training yet, I don't even know if Benimaru was using Super Fire against them. He might have just been going all out without using Super Fire, and only after this will he finally go all out against them, or something. I don't know. Maybe you can only learn Super Fire if you're at the point of a blackout of Tephrosis. I don't know. There's so much we don't know about all of this. But yeah. Beyond that, this is a pretty... Beyond the things... Also, there's a thing with Akala, who I'm figuring is just, some kind of... I'm gonna do a quick Google search. Yeah, he's a Hindu god? It says his name's in Sanskrit on Wikipedia, but, he's venerated in Shingon Buddhism, Tendai Zen, and Nichiren Buddhism, and in Shugendo, and highly revered amongst some Yakuza members, so there you go. That explains why Benimaru would be a fan. He's big in traditional Buddhism. So yeah, beyond that, it's just watching Benimaru kick these boys' ass, which honestly, as a huge Benimaru fan, I find deeply fun. But yeah, that's really all there is to say about this week's chapter, so I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!